Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to talk about designing enjoyable life tasks with the real life example of me recording these YouTube videos. And this is actually part 2 because the first one ended up so long already, so you can look for that one. I also had 2 more videos that are also called something similar, designing enjoyable piano practice and life tasks with some more piano specific examples. You can search for those as well, with David Chang, designing enjoyable life tasks, if you're curious about that. And the first video I talked a lot about how reflection on your purpose for doing the given thing, how you might be, assuming that it's worth it, how you might be helping hopefully the world, yourself, your family. You did the cost benefit analysis, you realize it's worth it to do this task, how can we make it the most enjoyable possible? And when you reflect on things, you realize that if it's deeply meaningful to you, then it becomes much more enjoyable. And anyway, on this channel, I hope to share with you guys strategies, methods, mindsets, etc., often of my own creation, that will help you in your life and hopefully in your piano playing as well, if you happen to play the piano or maybe you want to play the piano. And yeah, so in that first video, very much about how reflection makes such a difference in terms of whether you will enjoy a given thing or not. I mean, I would say if you've reflected deeply and the cost-benefit analysis means something is not worth it, of course you should consider not doing it. But let's assume that it is strictly necessary. Either it's something that is meaningful to you, or it's something that it's a life task that you just have to do no matter what. I would still try to see if there's something where it could be related to something that is meaningful to you, like if you have to do it. So in this case, it's like every single life task that I have to do, no matter how inane or seemingly unimportant, I mean, it's probably going to build character and make me a more patient person and, make me the sort of person that's able to, do challenging things, step outside of my comfort zone, right? Because most people don't become super successful because they're only willing to stay within their little box. And maybe if I am the sort of person that likes to get out of my comfort zone, that likes to push the boundaries, that likes to be on the edge, that's the sort of thing that's going to seep into my piano playing and my thinking and my teaching and my state of being. And so, so then those things that maybe if I didn't even really enjoy them, even if I couldn't find like deeply meaningful things on the surface, I can always find a way to relate things so that given life task ends up being my teacher anyway. Washing the dishes can end up being your great teacher because it's something that you have to do consistently. It's something that takes patience, and it's something that might help your household and you. So I guess in the end, my point is that with reflection, you can still find the deep meaning in things, either that you can find meaning directly applied to your life, or at least that if it's strictly necessary and you've determined that you do have to do it, you can still find meaning in how it applies to the rest of your life. Now, anyway, as I said in the first video, everything that I am doing in my regular life, if I'm able to decrease the energy cost, increase my happiness and everything, it's going to positively impact all the rest of my life and piano playing as well. But as promised, I'm going to explain how, since I've determined making YouTube videos is worth it, and I've reflected on why it's meaningful, so I'm happier doing it overall, how can I make it even more enjoyable than that, though? And I would say I've done a few things. First of all, right now, this is video number 6 that I'm recording today, out of probably 8. And I think batching is really important. I mean, obviously with dishes, you can't really batch that for 2 months or something. But, is there some kind of thing you have to do for your job, something at the office, something to do with, I don't know, your garage or some sort of like household thing or some sort of errand? Is there any way to batch it, like with the goal being that you don't have to think about it again for the longest time possible? I know that not every task fits into this category, but some things might. So if it's something that, drains your energy every 2 days or every week, can you batch it so you only have to do it every 2 weeks? Can you batch it so you only have to do it every 2 months? Like, that's what I'm trying to do here. Now, I could say like, oh, I'll record 52 videos. I don't have to worry about making another video for an entire year. That's probably too much of a time energy cost for that single day or that few weeks I do it, I mean, I would consider it, to be totally honest. Maybe I can make like a really, really, really long series where I layer like 52 layers of strategy. Maybe it'll already have been created by the time you see this video. But that's the type of direction that my brain will go to. So I think to myself, like, well, when I recorded my 14 layers of strategy as applied to river flows and you, I don't know if you've seen some of that series, but you can look that up, David Chang, 14 layers of strategy. You can see some of my methods in action there, especially my logical methodology and how it can greatly accelerate your piano learning and everything like that. I didn't have to worry about making another video for 14 weeks. And then before this batch of 8 that I'm recording today, I recorded 8 videos in one day. And again, it was awesome to like, I just see, because I have like an automated email thing, and thankfully I have a wonderful assistant and everything. So I just see the YouTube videos going live and the email being sent out. I'm like, oh, here's an email to myself. I don't even, because I had already pre-written out all the emails and everything. And the video descriptions, and we'd set the dates for when the videos would go out. So I genuinely did not have to think about it at all. And it's smarter to not think about it at all. Like when it's 4 weeks until I have to record the next batch of videos, I find myself thinking like, oh man, it's going to be stressful to record 8 more videos. I try to stop myself. I do emotional practice, which I won't go into too much in this video, but basically, I'm meeting my thoughts in a healthy way such that I'm not constantly worrying about 4 weeks from now, because it's not going to help. Like, it's actually better if I basically only have to worry about it every 8 weeks or every 8 videos. And that's the only time there's a time energy cost, if even then. Maybe like today I actually felt quite a bit happier than I thought I would, because I approached things with the right mindset. And so I've had a pretty good day overall. I mean, the beginning of the day was I was thinking like, it's kind of a lot of videos, and it started a little bit slower, but I started to enjoy it more and more as time went on. So in order to prepare for this batching, I set aside this entire day. I didn't allow myself to schedule any calls. It was tempting. Like, there was a student that asked yesterday if I was free today, and I said, oh, sorry, I'm not available tomorrow. There are student interviews for, the piano programs, the specialized programs that we have that people are reaching out for. And I just said this day is completely unavailable. I told my assistant also this day is unavailable. I made no plans with friends. I made no plans with my wife. That this day is just for recording videos. That is like my sole mission. I did a few other little things in the morning, but if anything, I could be even better about that. And so that's how I have enough energy to do this task. Like, that's the only thing that I'm doing today, as much as possible. And and then I'm just recording these 8 videos, and now I'm on video 6, so I've been very successful, and that's the reason why you see me wearing the same sweater probably in 8 different videos in a row. And so, so it's like I won't have to worry about this again until probably like the middle of May, and right now it's like the middle of March. Maybe I'll record more than 8, I don't know. It depends on my mood. But this way, in the course of an entire year, I probably don't have to worry about this more than 6 or 7 times, right? Because 8 times 6 is 48, unless I'm crazy in the moment. And so in the course of an entire year, I won't have that many times when I have to worry about this. Pardon the loud motorcycle sounds. I'll try to speak a little closer so you can hear me. And then I think, like, what is the sequence to record the videos? Because I've realized recently it is really valuable for me to record videos at the piano, because I have current students that have asked about dynamics and shaping and balance and technique and other things. So I realized that was sort of like missing, so to speak. And I realized that'd be really helpful to the public as well too, not just within the specialized programs. But to be totally honest, like I like it more when I can completely come up with the topic on my own. I like to be able to record when I'm out and about, because the weather's getting nicer, and I do like being outside instead of just locked inside all the time. Ever since I came up with mental practice techniques, if you've ever searched David Chang mental practice, I have a lot of videos on that. Like, practicing does not always have to be married to the physical instrument, the piano, though it's a beautiful instrument. Like, I can also do practicing outside and stuff. But if I'm recording YouTube videos, a lot of the time it's going to have to be at the piano to explain technique and musicality. And so I decided to do the more difficult thing first, which is another thing that you can try. And so I told myself, okay, I'm going to try to record 4 videos at the piano that need to use the piano, because it's a little bit more of a hassle. I got to set it up, make sure everything's just so. I got to make sure I have at least some slightly good angles and things so people can understand what I'm talking about. And my reward for recording those 4 videos is that the other 4 topics can be, more like what I want to talk about. They can be recorded outside like I'm doing right now. I still think hopefully that this will be valuable to you, but it's not as much like the questions that students were specifically asking recently. It's not always going to be strictly piano playing related, but I want to be true to myself and talk about the topics that I'm passionate about as well. And so I guess that's another thing. So one thing would be doing the more difficult things first, which in this case was recording half of the videos at the piano, and then the reward being the stuff that's easier, in terms of this task. And then another thing is, trying to choose topics and elements of the task that you are genuinely passionate about or that you enjoy even more. And so, I really like talking about life and mindset things, both because I genuinely think about them all the time and because I think it genuinely will be of value to others. And the life stuff always affects my piano playing, because when I take care of life things, I have, again, more energy, more happiness, more bandwidth to then tackle my piano playing and use my methodologies in the most efficient way possible. So we have that part. And then you might think like, well, with something as inane as like, going to the post office or something, what is it that I could be, passionate about? And I think you would have to be creative to, not every single tip here might apply to these kind of more, maybe they're like very short-term tasks, or they're very much just like, just run the errand and it's over. So you might have to be creative, but in terms of, for instance, if you're like cleaning out your entire garage and it's a big project, there might be certain elements of it that you enjoy more and that you enjoy less. And how about batching the work so that you don't have to worry about it like every day or every 2 days? Maybe you do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, just the way that I'm describing here. And then, you don't have to worry about cleaning the garage again for another 2 weeks or for another month. And then you can split that task into things you enjoy less, like, cleaning out a certain part of it that's especially dirty or something. And you do that for some of the time. And then the reward is cleaning out the parts maybe with family memories that you enjoy a lot more. And it's still part of the task, but that's your reward for doing the part that's not inherently quite as enjoyable. And there's definitely things you can do in terms of your other environmental and other design parts of the task. I've talked about this in some of the other videos. If you search my name and then designing enjoyable piano practice and life tasks, like for example, the fact that I'm outside right now, that makes a very significant difference to me. If I were having to deliver a letter at the post office for some reason, which I guess doesn't really happen too much anymore, I would be reading while I'm in line, or listening to like a podcast about life things or business things or mindset things, or something that I'm really passionate about. If it's like, it would be hard to find me not making good productive use of like waiting in line, even if the productive use is just a little bit of quiet meditation and reflection and checking in with myself. But I might also be reading like a physical book. I might be doing mental piano practice. I might be, organizing something on my phone to optimize it better for the next day or for the next thing to do. So yeah, and that for me is a lot more enjoyable than just waiting there. That's another thing, like, and I think I made this other video, like why I read while standing on a crowded New York City subway. Like I'm fine with the subway taking a long time and this, both waiting for it and being on the actual ride, because it's just more reading time for me. It's more thinking time, more reflecting time. Sometimes when I'm kind of tired, I actually just want to like physically be on, for instance, the New York City subway, just because it's a change of pace. And then I can be reading like while I'm standing there waiting, while I'm sitting there, while I'm getting ready to get off. And that change of pace is actually what kind of wakes me up a bit. And then I'm in a different environment. So that's another thing for these videos too. If you change around your different environments, you can experiment with being at home, in a coffee shop, in an office. You even take a trip somewhere. Like often my idea of a fantastic vacation is total relaxation time and time with my wife and so on, but also productivity, because I just genuinely enjoy learning and accomplishing things and bettering myself. And so, I might strategically decide to take more trips. That's something that we've been doing recently as well, too, both big and little trips. So anyway, so that hopefully that's useful to you as well. And in terms of these videos, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really important yet. Batching the work, setting aside the entire day, as a review, doing the things that maybe I enjoy a little bit less or are more limiting, and then doing the more enjoyable thing as the reward. Choosing topics that you're genuinely passionate about, or doing parts of the task that you're genuinely passionate about. Obviously, the reflection that I've talked about at length in the first video, and then this one about the meaning of the task and how it can genuinely help you. And let's see. Yeah, I would say, I know I mentioned like designing an environment and trying different things. It's like the being outside makes this more enjoyable. The reading while waiting in line makes it more enjoyable. I think variety is also a big thing. It's, at least for me, maybe some people it's the opposite, and the routine of it is what's comforting. Always in the same place, you just get into that environment and then you're just in the zone. That's fantastic. I love being able to record 4 videos at the piano, and then maybe it could be 2 videos right now out here, and then I might record like a few more like at my desk, just because I feel the most comfortable. Maybe today I'll record in a different environment for the first time, and that will make me happier in the moment. And then the next time I think about this task, I'll think like, oh yeah, that can be fun, because it's up to me, my creativity, where to record these videos, and what would make me the happiest. And then that might also inspire other people, because I'm literally trying to teach how to design enjoyable life tasks, to think outside of the box, in terms of maybe the reason I don't enjoy this task is because I'm always in the same place. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I'm too disorganized, and it's like I always want to do it specifically at my desk or specifically in this coffee shop. But it's I think for me, a big part of the reason I didn't enjoy it in the beginning was just like, every single time I make a video, it's all the same. I'm going to have to be at my desk. I'm going to have to like think about this really hard, when in fact it can be totally off the cuff. It can be in different environments. There can be variety. There can be deep meaning in it. And you can get the more stringent parts out of the way first, and then reward yourself with even more enjoyable parts. So anyway, hope some of this thinking is useful. Try to use specific examples in both the YouTube videos and some other examples I talked about to hopefully inspire you to think of how this might apply to life tasks in your life. And yeah, maybe let me know what you think. Maybe you want to share some of the tasks that you have to do, and perhaps we could come up with some ideas together. And yeah, if you found this useful, interesting, please like, subscribe, let people know about the channel. Try to apply some of these ideas not only to your life, but hopefully to your piano or music practice or other artistic pursuits as well. And yeah, thanks. Looking forward to the next one.